But we, but we by our love so much refined that ourselves know not what it is, interassured of the mind, careless eyes, lips, and hands to miss. But we by our love. By our love? Love? What kind of love they both have? Their love is not simple love, not ordinary love, but it is greater, okay? Their love is sublime love, lofty love. It is greater, it is higher in comparison of ordinary people. So much refined, and they are purified. Their love is so purified because of its greatness, because of its highness, that ourselves, that we both don't have any idea what it is, what kind of our love is. Interassured, but we are assured inwardly. We are we are very sure, we are very firm inwardly of the mind. Mind, heart, soul. Okay, mind means heart or soul. We are very assured, we are very firm. We have faith in the faithfulness of our soul, of our heart, means we trust each other, we have faith in each other, and that is the reason careless. We are not careful. Careful for what? The eyes, lips, and hands to miss whether we are touching the physical organs or not of each other. So in the last stanza, Jordan he had said that worldly lovers, common lovers, or simple lovers, that is physical lovers, and they are very different from the spiritual lovers. They can never tolerate the absence of the beloved. And why they cannot tolerate the absence of the beloved? Because of the absence of all these physical parts, physical organs. Because all these eyes, lips, and hands, only this kind of physical beauty alimented or produced love in their heart. So that is the reason that they can never bear the absence of their beloved. And now in this stanza, John Donne tells us that how true lovers feel, what happens with them, how much sublime their love is. So here he says that he and his beloved, okay, he and his wife, he and his wife or beloved are not like what? Are not like whom? They are not like worldly lovers. They are not like physical lovers or earthly lovers, like common, simple, or ordinary lovers. Their love is of a higher kind, okay, so much refined. Their love is of a higher kind, of a greater kind, and it has made them better. It has made them much purer or refined. Their soul has become much more refined or pure only because of this sublimity in their love. And they themselves, ourselves, they themselves do not have a clear idea of this love. They themselves don't know of the greatness, of the highness of their love. They feel quite convinced only that they are interassured, okay? They are very convinced about the heart, about the mind of each other. And this is why that they have a lot of faith in the loyalty, in the faithfulness, in the greatness of each other love, because they are aware of this fact whether they are present in front of each other or not, but their love will never be affected by the absence of each other. So this is their strong faith. That is why that John Donne is using these kinds of word, interassured of the mind. So they both know that their love is real, their love is permanent, and their love can never be changed because of the absence of each other. And this is the confidence or interassurance of both. So it is not based on physical charm, eyes, lips, hands, and this is why that they both are careless. It is not based on physical beauty. So this is why that they do not care if because of absence, because of due to the absence, they cannot see the eyes of each other, they cannot touch or kiss the lips, or they cannot touch the hands. It doesn't matter, but they will never miss, they will never care of all these physical charms. They can live without all these things also. So it doesn't matter for them that if they cannot see the eyes, they cannot kiss the lips, they cannot touch the hands of each other. They care less for these things than the truth of the heart. Okay, what important is for both of them, that is the truth of the heart, faithful of the heart, loftiness of the soul, because they know that it is not their physical love that is making a union between both, but it is their platonic love, spiritual love. So the real feelings of love in the heart are more important for John Donne. Okay, are you getting this point, that it is only the feelings of love, means in brief if I explain, John Donne says that true love is based upon proper understanding of each other's mind, interassured of the mind. Okay, that is true love is not based only on the physical beauty or physical attraction, but it depends on the understanding of each other's heart. So now it doesn't need any type of bodily satisfaction, bodily contentment or gratification. And now this stanza, if we go deeply, minutely, we observe the philosophy, the idea of John Donne, then we come to know that no doubt this establishes the greatness of John Donne as a love poet, especially as a non-traditional love poet. So no doubt he had been a love poet, and there are so many poems related to love philosophy also, but in this poem we find John Donne as a spiritual love, not a physical lover. But he presents himself here as a platonic lover, great or high lover or spiritual lover. So now our two souls, okay, this stanza is very important, because here again we find that a beautiful conceit in these lines. It has been taken from Goldsmithy, a breach but an expansion, and this stanza is very popular. It is always asked in the competitive exams, and John Donne's this poem is also famous for these lines. A breach, for these kinds of conceit used by him, a breach but an expansion. Our two souls, therefore, which are one, though I must go, endure not yet a breach but an expansion, like gold to airy thinness beat. So you can find here a beautiful conceit, and for the first time you come to know what kind of conceit, what kind of idea has been given by John Donne, and that is completely new. John Donne tells his wife or his beloved that there should not be any weeping, there should not be any tears or cry and sighing when they part, okay, when they are getting separated, because their love, which is true love of the soul, is completely different from the love of man in general. And in these lines, John Donne puts forward a very new idea about their separation or about their parting. And here he is giving so many beautiful examples, so many beautiful logic. He is trying to convince her, giving this kind of example, a breach but an expansion. So what he says in this stanza, how he is trying to convince his wife that their love is refined. Okay, he has told us, and now again he is saying that no doubt their love is, it is just like a gold. Their love is refined, it is very pure, it is very high, sublime or lofty, it is just like gold. And it is seated where? It is seated in the mind, in the soul. So their souls are one, right? So their souls are not two, their physical bodies are two, but their souls are one. Therefore there comes no question, there is no question of parting, there is no question of their separation. How can it be possible? Because soul is one. If their soul is one, their physical bodies are two, they can be separated, right? Means they can be separated only by their bodies, physical bodies, but not by their soul, because their soul is only one. So now because their soul is one, so there can never be a separation between both. Though he must be gone, okay, he will have to go because it is his work. It is not possible for Jonathan to always remain with his wife. He has to go outside, he has to work, he has to leave her for a short time. And now this is the reason that he will have to go, leaving her behind, but their souls will not have to suffer the pain of separation. So and why? Because the soul is one, and distance will only expand it, okay. Their separation, there will not a breach, there will not be a breach, but there will be only an expansion. Distance will only expand it when gold. And now he is giving an example like gold. Like gold, the example is so good here that when gold is beaten into a leaf as thin as air, okay, too airy, as thin as air, because it is beaten to the thinness, airy thinness, good, airy thinness, and it expands much wider, and expansion. It the gold, when it is beaten by a gold smith, it expands much wider. In the same way, separation or parting will only expand their soul. So there will be no separation. Such a beautiful conceit has been given by John Donne, and it is, as I have told you, it is very famous. So now come to the next one. Again, most important. If they be two, they are two, so as stiff twin compasses are two, right? This one is also very important, and in most of the competitive exams, in explanation also, in short question also, this kind of conceit, this kind of stanza or example are always asked. You may be asked to explain these lines. If they be two, they are two, so as stiff twin compasses are two, thy soul the first foot makes no show to move, but doth if the other two. If they be two. Okay. John Donne, he is, as we know very well, that he is trying his best to convince his wife, to make her understood, and just to stop her to cry. And he has shown very well the permanence of true love by means the image of compasses here, twin compasses, right? Stiff twin compasses. So first of all, just let me explain this, that we find here a very beautiful poetic, means a poetic beauty is here, that is a very strange simile. It is quite new to us. It is a beautiful conceit, and it has been taken from geometry, okay. Stiff twin compasses, it has been taken from geometry, and it refers to the process of drawing a circle. What happens actually in ancient days, geometry was of prime importance for philosophers, and as you all are aware of this, that John Donne was a metaphysical poet, and metaphysical poets, they were men of learning, and they used to show it, they used to make a display of it. The same we find here, that how much intelligent, how much wise, how much logical John Donne had been, that he is using this kind of example of geometry. So in old days, geometry was of a very great importance for philosophers. And on the gate of Plato's academy, it was written. It is said that it was written on the gate, academy gate of Plato. What was written that those who know not geometry needn't enter here. The person who are unaware of geometry must not enter. So that was written on the gate of Plato's academy. So here we find this beautiful conceit, this strange simile as stiff twin come passes. And in the whole lyric, in the whole dramatic monologue, we find only the rhyme scheme A B A B. Okay, A so, show, to, do, A B A B. The rhyme scheme is. So now John Donne, he had shown that their souls are one. Okay, in the last stanza, that their souls are one, and it is only their bodies which are two. Now he shows their oneness. Okay, how can it be possible if the wife of John Donne, if the beloved of John Donne asks him that how can it be possible that we are one and we are not two, because she is still not believing that it is not possible, we are two and you are getting separated and it is not possible for me to live without you. So now John Donne is giving another logical example. He is giving another logic to make her understand, okay, if you are saying that we are not one, we are two, then how we are two? Got? So if they be two, okay, you are saying that we are two, right? We are not one. If they be two, they are two. So if what he says that he shows their oneness, even if they are in fact two, if their souls are two instead of being one, they are two like what? As stiff, okay, like the legs of compasses, like the foot, two foot, like the pair twin, like the pair, like the twin, or like the legs, or like the foot, that is feet, foot of or legs of compasses, which are part of one and the same thing, and which make up that thing. So we cannot think of them separately. Can we think the compass that they are separated? No. They are, in spite of having twin, in spite of having pair, they are still one. So we are also one like them, like the legs of compasses. Therefore, so we cannot think of them separately. Now the soul of the beloved is the first foot, okay? Thy soul, your soul, the soul of John Donne's beloved or John Donne's wife, thy soul, the first foot. The first foot that is always unmovable, stable, firm, and it always remains in the center. So now the soul of John Donne's wife has been compared here with the first foot. Means John Donne thinks that the first foot of the compass, the first leg that is unmovable or that is firm, is the soul of his wife, and another foot, the second foot, that can be moved and that is not stable but unstable, that is not firm, is the soul of John Donne himself. So now here twin compasses, okay, pair of compasses has been compared with the two different souls of John Donne and his wife. Thy soul, the first foot. When he says first foot, never forget this. First foot that always remains in the center and that never moves, right? First foot that is unmovable. So the soul of the beloved or the soul of his wife is the first foot, which remains fixed always at the center, and it is always stable, it is always firm at its own place, right? On place we can say that the house or the home. But when the other foot makes no show to move but doth, and the other The another foot, that is John Donne himself. But when the other foot moves, it also moves. If the other do, when another foot moves, the first foot also moves. So the beloved will stay at home, and the poet, he himself, will have to go abroad. So here we find a very beautiful comparison with compass. Thy soul, the first foot, makes no show to move, but you move. But doth if the other do. Okay, other, that is John Donne. First foot, his beloved or his wife. First foot, other, second foot. So this is also a very beautiful comparison, a very beautiful conceit. Now come to the next one. And though it in the center sit. Okay, it, that is the first foot. The other, that is the other movable foot. And though it in the center sit, yet when the other far doth roam, it leans, it, the first foot, and hearkens after it, and grows erect as that comes home. That means another foot, another leg. Here he continues the simile, okay, because this is a continuation of this, that is stanza. So continuing the simile of the fixed foot, John Donne shows the movement of the stable foot, how it moves. The fixed foot, the first foot, the fixed foot is at the center, okay, at the center seat, and there is no necessity for it to move. Yet when the other far doth roam, it leans. But it does make some movements. It seems not to move, but in spite of that, it moves. There is such a deep love between the two. Okay, stiff twin compasses, love between the two, and it cannot remain unaffected because it moves. It seems to be unmoved, but in reality we all are aware of this fact that the first foot sitting at the center also moves. And when the other foot, okay, movable foot, wanders here and there, it inclines towards the wandering foot. It leans and hearkens after it and grows erect. It inclines towards the wandering foot. It listens to, okay, it leans, it bends, it goes behind the another foot, it listens to that foot and follows it, okay. Here, that is here after it. Here after it, that it listens to that foot. Then follows it with its ears because it leans and grows erect, and it shows as if it was only sitting at the center. And when the wandering foot, another foot, comes back, it comes back to the fixed foot, it comes back to the home. The fixed foot stands erect, it grows erect as another foot comes home or comes back. So it is a continuation of the last stanza, and again the same simile, the same conceit is going on. So this description of the movement of the compasses is perfect in these lines, right? In these lines also. Now such wilt thou be to me, who must like the other foot. Okay, such wilt thou be to me. Wilt thou, you will, who must like the other foot obliquely run. Thy firmness draws my circle just and makes me end where I began. John Donne is consoling his wife who is expressing grief. Okay, and this one is the last stanza of this dramatic monologue. At the time of his departure, his wife is very sad and she is trying her best to stop him. So now John Donne is comparing himself and his wife with two legs of a compass. And what he says, giving an example of twin compasses, he says to his wife that she will be like the fixed foot of the compasses, and she will always incline towards him. She will remain in constant touch with him. She will always watch his movements, although he will wander here and there, because he will have to. Such wilt thou be to me, who must like the other foot, okay, like the other foot. So she will always watch his movements, and he will always be inclined towards her, like the moving foot of the compasses. Thy firmness draws my circle just. Her firmness, okay, your firmness, the firmness of his wife. What he says, that her firmness will draw him home. It will take him back to home. My circle just. My circle, that is my work, my job, my profession, or my business, or the work for what I am leaving you, or I am leaving the house, and makes me end. So his journey will end in a complete circle, right? He will return home from where he went away. In this way, his movements will be exactly like the moving foot of the compasses, and makes me end where I began. So, throughout the dramatic monologue, especially with the help of the last stanza, we come to know that to the lover, the circle represents, this circle represents the journey of life. So, this was completely a valediction forbidding mourning.